You know, guys, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I really missed Shield Hero. After Season 2 came out, I think about a year or so ago, everyone started to get the impression that Shield Hero was a bad series. And it's never been bad. It was just not handled well. That's the case for a lot of anime series out there. But I'm hoping with Season 3 this season that the perception of Shield Hero can get turned around, because I've always thought it was a good series. And in its core, it is a very good series, honestly. And I'm really hoping that people can kind of open their eyes and see that again in Season 3. So, let's just hop straight into it and talk about Rising of the Shield Hero, Season 3, Episode 1. So our episode begins smack dab in the middle of a battle, as we see Naofumi and his party are seemingly fighting in an underground Coliseum. As we suddenly hear, Team Rock Valley has just entered the arena! And they're already struggling against the veteran Topak family! As the crowd is roaring all around them. As we hear, I thought you might be tough, but I guess I was wrong. That's what Small Fry always say, guys. Let's finish him off, boys. As we hear, will Team Rock Valley be able to fight their way out of this? The tension is killing me! But before we get into that, let's retrace our steps back to how this all began. As we hear, my name is Awatani Naofumi. I was sent from modern Japan to another world as the Shield Hero, in order to fight the waves which are said to bring calamity to this world. But since the Spirit Tortoise, one of the 4 guardian beasts that protect this world, revived, it'll be a while before another wave occurs. The guardian beasts use soul energy gathered by killing people to stop the waves from occurring. As we see that the entire world, and us as the audience, is recovering from the giant battle with the Spirit Tortoise from our previous season. As Naofumi says, we defeated the Spirit Tortoise, so the Phoenix, the next guardian beast, was supposed to revive immediately afterward. But the energy we took back from Kyo created a barrier that gives us 3.5 months before the Phoenix revives. I'll have to use that 3.5 months to strengthen the defense of my lands and prepare to defeat the Phoenix. But when I fought Kyo, the sacrifice aura put a curse on us. Me, Raftalia, and Philo all took a big hit to our status. So essentially, our goal here is to bolster our forces, prepare for the next fight, while also getting rid of the curse that's weakening our cast of characters here. Quite a predicament. As we hear Loharat, Haikazia, Medius. Why are the armies that gathered to defeat the Spirit Tortoise still here? And those flags over there, that's Fallbray. They didn't even come to fight the Spirit Tortoise, so why are they here? And it's here Naofumi tells us, the audience, that I haven't been able to use the liberation aura that Ost taught me since then either, and I don't know if I ever will again. As we see our other 3 loser heroes again, and Naofumi says, we need to be able to trust each other's way of buffing each other so that we can get stronger. As much as I talk shit about these other 3 heroes because they suck, frankly, they do, they really do have to work together and able to stop the waves, guys. These characters are important, whether they suck or not. That's just how it is. But it's here, as we transition to the kingdom, we find out that they're missing. As the queen says, the other 3 heroes dealt with the wave that took place after you left for the other world. We were all grateful to them for that, but it's possible they felt responsible for what happened because now they're missing. As Naofumi says, those frickin' idiots. As the queen continues and says, with the Phoenix about to revive, having even one of the heroes missing would be extremely serious. The waves of catastrophe, the guardian beasts. I have nothing but pity for the poor people of this land who are caught up in these disasters. It's really the common people that are getting the short end of the stick in these fights, guys, and I hope this season will showcase that more. As the Queen says, Awatani, as the shield hero, I ask for you to lend us help once more. As Naofumi tells her, I don't even need you to ask me. I'll fight to protect my lands, no matter what. But it's here, he throws it right back at her and says, but what about you? The three nations to the east in Fallberry are lurking around your country. As the Queen of Mel remark, it's a pretty big concern too, isn't it? As she tells him, after the defeat of the Spirit Tortoise, Fallberry stationed their soldiers nearby in what they're calling a relief effort. The three nations are wary of them, and so have placed their own forces nearby as well. Melromark and that nation are allies. For the moment, at least. To put that in simpler terms for you guys, war is complicated. But it's here. A change of topic is warranted to push this conversation forward, as Naofumi says. What this world calls the vassal weapon heroes. Or the 7-star heroes. What about them? Where are they? As the Queen says, they should be somewhere out there in the world, but we can't contact most of them. We're investigating, but we haven't found any good leads. As she tells him a bit of news that you all might be very surprised by, and says, the only one whose location we're aware of is the staff hero. And as Naofumi asks where they are, she tells him, they're here, in Melromark. And tells him, will you accompany me? Let's go see them. And it's here! We transition to the dungeon, as Naofumi says, what's this? And he's told, we recovered the Spirit Tortoise's body. And as Naofumi absorbs a bit of the Spirit Tortoise into his shield, making him even stronger, he says, so this is a final present for most, huh? As the Queen adds, Naofumi, this may be difficult for me to say, but Malti, bitch, has gone missing as well. Can we just take a moment to say how great it is that he made her name bitch and everyone has to officially call her that? Even the Queen, her mother. That is so funny to me still. I love that. As she warns him, she was sighted near the northern border. Be careful. She may be planning something. Bitches usually do. But it's here. We see someone we haven't seen in a while. As the King says, damn you, shield hero! What are you doing here? As he quickly notices the Queen there and shuts up. As Naofumi says, I can't believe he's the staff hero. Trust me, guys. When I first found that out too, I was sitting here like, what? Him? He's a hero? No way. He's trash. But it's true. And he will play a big part in our series, whether we like it or not. But as we transition to our next scene, it's time to say hi to the world's best blacksmith, apparently. As Naofumi says, working hard or hardly working, Gramps? As I've always really liked these two's relationship. As he tells him, damn kid, between the Spirit Tortoise and that other world, you're pretty busy, huh? And as Naofumi remembers all the sacrifices that were made along the way, our blacksmith tells him, what's wrong, kid? Spacing out on me. Naofumi tells him, it's nothing. I'm fine. It's not nothing, but for now, we'll have to deal with it. And it's here, let's get to the heart of our matter. As he says, this is the gear I used in that other world. I haven't been able to use it since I got back. What can you do about it? As Naofumi says, I like the way you looked in it, Raftalia. And she's like, oh? As he adds, and your status was higher when you wore it too. As she's like, oh. As our smith says, so you want me to make it so you can use it here, right? As Naofumi says, and do it for cheap too, bud. As he says, "You always say that, kid." Naofumi tells him, "Why don't you just come to my lands and sell your weapons there?" So he tells him, "You trying to work me even harder, kid? I'm an old man." "No way." And it's here as we transition to them going through the city. We see that things are still very rough for some people here. As Naofumi says, officially, they switched to worshipping the 4 heroes instead of 3, but I guess people don't change that easily. As we see that persecution against the demi-humans is still pretty damn rampant, and that includes against Raftalia as well. As Naofumi says, Melty's ideal country is still a long ways away. But it's here! It's time to transition to everyone's favorite slaver. Never thought I'd say those words. As we hear, "It's been too long, Shield Hero." But I had a feeling you'd show up soon. As Naofumi tells him, "I barely see any slaves here." As he tells him, "You don't know? Haven't you forgotten that they're trying to bring back the scattered villagers of Luralona village?" As Naofumi says, "This has got to be the Queen's doing. God damn it. I thought that if I was going to improve my lands, it'd be easier to do it with the people who lived there before." Because remember, guys, that was Raftalia's home village, and these are the people that used to live there. He's doing this for her sake, essentially, even though he won't admit it. As our slaver tells him, the nobles and merchants heard that the message about this would be coming in advance, and bought up all the slaves from the village to sell them outside the country. Pretty fucked up, honestly. As Naofumi asks him, how much would it cost to buy them back? As he tells him, at the moment, you'd be paying 30 gold a head. A ludicrous amount, as we hear that Raftalia was only 30 silver. It's 100 times her price. As she adds, I was 31, actually. Thank you very much, guys. And as they ask why it's so high, he tells them, you just don't know how things will go in business, kid. As Naofumi tells him, I'll buy every slave that you have left right here. Give me all the information you have on them. As he says, that's my friend, the Shield Hero. I'm getting the shivers. As he adds, if you still want the demi-humans from Lower Lona village, then why not head to Zeltabul? And so it's time to do just that and head to Zeltabul. And as they're leaving, Melty tells them, you leave the demi-human slaves you bought to me, Naofumi. Eclair, El Rostra, and I will teach them what they need to know. And it's here we start on our journey to Zeltabul. And one thing I do wish the anime would do better is really showcase the world of Shield Hero. That is a criticism I do have, is that they really don't expand upon the world. Because Shield Hero's world is actually pretty interesting in how it works, how all these different races interact with each other. It actually is interesting. And the anime doesn't really get into that too much. And I think that is a legit criticism you could have with the anime. Because it's here as we transition to our next scene. We arrive at Zeltabul. As we hear the country of merchants and mercenaries. It feels so alive. But we're not here to sightsee because we got a mission here. As they go to the person that the merchant told them about that could help them find the slaves here. And let's just say he has a striking resemblance to someone we know quite well. As he says, I like the look in your eyes. It's just like my nephew told me. And I think Philo's face here says everything that it needs to. It's perfect. As he tells them, in this country, there are lots of places above the surface where you can have some fun. But the real fun lies elsewhere. And as he opens up his super secret staircase that every place needs to have, frankly, he says, there are stairs in this city like this one that lead underground to a place full of fun, excitement, and shivers. As he says, you're lucky, Shield Hero. I've heard what you're looking for has just come in today. And as we transition into this place, we see that it's an underworld auction. As he tells him, here, you can buy things you can't buy on the surface, like people. Slaves whose ownership is forbidden in Melremark are being sold here tonight. As we see a demi-human girl here claiming to be from Luralona village. But Raftalia says she's lying. As our slaver tells Naofumi, I know you thought you were doing the right thing, but this is the result. You just don't know how things will go in business, kid. And as this girl gets sold for a ludicrous price, Raftalia reconfirms that, yeah, she's not from my village. As our slaver says, doesn't matter where she's actually from. The Lularona brand that the shield hero created is just that powerful. As he tells them, money, baby. Money solves all problems. As he says, shield hero, how much money do you have with you? And adds, I'm told you bought up all the slaves in Melremark. Even ones that weren't from your village. If only you'd saved your money, huh? As Naofumi says, you brought me down here because you have a way for me to earn money, right? As he just grins at him, that's a yes. And tells him, you saw that Coliseum this afternoon, right? People there fight fair, with their honor on the line. But the underground arena is something entirely different. There are no rules down there. You do whatever it takes to win. But the money you earn is much greater. And as we see Naofumi go and investigate this place, we see that it's filled to the brim with people who want a good show. As we see an elephant and a panda fighting each other, because why not? As we suddenly hear, haven't seen you around here. First time. As for lack of a better term, an absolute baddie approaches him right here. As she adds, Sasa's gonna win today, by the way. The one you called Panda earlier. Are you here to bet? Or will you enter yourself? As we see our panda friend does indeed win here. As Naofumi asks her, what are the rules down here? As she says, you know, I might be able to talk more if I had a drink in my hand. Hint, hint. I like her already, guys. As we transition to our next fight, which is Foal, a little mad dog of a tiger demi-human, versus the noble Sion and master of the blade, Yuji. As she starts explaining to Naofumi, so, you can enter alone or in a team of up to 3 people. But I suppose the most popular thing to bet on is the 3-on-3 team fights. And anything goes. Like that, for instance. And as we transition to the fight down below, we see that it is very clearly fixed. As our fraud of a noble seems to easily win this fight. As our mystery woman says, poor kid, don't you think? As Naofumi tells her, he's the one who agreed to fix the match. Which he's very right on, to be fair. As she tells him, you know, I think that's enough drinks for one day. Thanks for him, though. I'll see you around. And as our noble tosses this kid a little vial right here, Naofumi reconfirms that money is everything. And as we get back to the inn, Naofumi tells the whole party, alright, we'll hide our identities and we're going to enter the underground arena. We'll take both the money from winning the bets and the prize money. And buy back all the demi-humans from Luralona village that are up for auction. As Philo says, I don't understand anything you just said, but that sounds fun. Damn right, Philo. And it's here, we're back to our present time. As Naofumi's like, curses! They're so strong! Oh no! As Philo says, Master, why do we have to pretend to be weak against these losers? As he tells her, it's to make the audience think we can't beat them. The more we look like a dark horse, the more money that's paid out if we win. Very shrewd, but I like that thinking. Good idea. But it's here, it's time to get a bit serious, as Raftalia uses her vassal weapon powers, because she's won now after Season 2, to hide the perception of what people see in the arena as they just absolutely wreck these jabronis in here. It's not even remotely close, as we hear, "What an upset! Tupac's winning team has been broken by Rock Valley, a brand new team!" As they're like, "Oh, we won! Yeah, I thought we were done for! Woohoo!" But as we look around our arena here, we see that our troubles are only just beginning, and in more ways than we thought. And with that, our episode ends. Alright guys, a little bit longer of a video this time, but there was a lot of information I had to tell you guys in this video, so this was a bit longer because of it. I'll try to keep the other reviews a little shorter than this, but like I said, there was a lot to go over that I had to tell you guys about. We had to set up. This is the definition of a setup episode. But as I was going through it, I did start to remember stuff that happens in this arc. And we're in for a pretty fun arc, actually. That's all I'm going to say. I'm quite happy that Shield Hero's back, so I would love to hear your guys' opinion on its return as well. So until next time, guys, I hope you all have a great day, week, month, and year. And until then, deuces, have a blessed day, and I will see you guys next time. Deuces.